Hey everybody, it's Somni Respiratory Flux, call me Flux for short, or whatever you want to call me. And in the last episode, we made it here to Zora's Fountain, only to find that the Zoras in Zora's domain are not really there. There's ice everywhere instead. But because of that ice, we can now get into this cave and explore somewhere we haven't been yet. Welcome to the Ice Cavern. This is actually kind of a mini dungeon that is sort of weird because there's like a couple of places like this, a couple other places like this that we'll see from now on between our main dungeons. But this is the first time we really have one. I mean, yeah, there's really... unless you count the thing from Dampe, but that's... counting Dampe's grave as a mini dungeon is not really... It's not in the same way, because this is actually, like, its own dungeon with its own dungeon map and chests and all of that. I think that was the wrong way. I'm getting all turned around. Oh my goodness, just stop. Wow. I'm getting hit a lot, which is not boding well for this place because... Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of little things to do in here that are going to take a bit, but... It is a mini dungeon, not a full dungeon, so we should be able to get this done in one episode. Aha! Don't think I don't see you up there, Mr. Golden Sculptula. That wall just kind of faded into blackness, and I'm a little scared. But... Is this also the first... I think this is also the first example of this gimmick that we see in this game, where we have to collect silver rupees. Collect 5 silver rupees in an area, and that will open a locked doorway. We'll see that several times from here on out. But it's one of those kind of stock puzzles that happens in this game that up till now we haven't really gotten a chance to see. So it's interesting that this is the first place where we see that. And also, I just remembered that I'm going to have to get rid of my bottle, one of my fairies in the bottle at this point, so... Okay. Getting frozen... Oh my goodness, ice keys are the worst. And so are these freezers, which are what these enemies are called. Because you have to attack them quickly in order to not get frozen. You can attack from a distance as well, and if you have a fire-based attack, Din's Fire, I believe, will one-shot these enemies. Okay, this is going swimmingly. I should probably just get rid of that piece. But yeah, no, getting frozen is honestly one of the sort of things in this game that's not all that much of a threat in terms of actually damaging you. It's just annoying. This blue fire doesn't seem natural. Maybe you can use it for something. Yeah. That's the main gimmick of this dungeon, other than everything freezing you, is this red ice, and to counter it, you have blue fire. Basically, there are barriers and crystals of red ice frozen everywhere, and if you have blue fire in a bottle, you can melt the red ice. It's kind of a silly silly gimmick that you have the red ice that can only be melted by blue fire, but it's definitely visually striking. I'll give it that. I'm gonna have used one of my fairies rather than the bug because I still want to use that bug in a couple places. I'll have to take it back in time to do so, but yes. No, blue fire. It's actually the blue fire is actually described as being cool to the touch, which is also an interesting concept. Okay. I should be able to finish this all in one video if I can manage to play without being terrible at the game for 2 seconds. You might want to also have multiple bottles worth of blue fire, because you use it a lot in this dungeon, but most of the places where you need to use it, you actually have the blue fire readily available. There's really only one time where I think of that you actually have to go out of your way to get more. I think. I might just be misremembering things, but always just grab some more here. These blue torches have a limitless supply of blue fire, so you can just use as much as you need. You can also buy blue fire from some of the shops, and the potion shop in Kakariko has blue fire for sale. But why you would buy it is kind of beyond me, because it's like you never need it outside of. There's only one place outside of the Ice Cavern where you ever even need to have it. I don't... Okay, yeah. It's a little bit tricky because I think there are... Yeah, there's 2 things of red ice in this room. And I believe they both... Yeah, they both cover different exits to the room. Now, if I melted the correct one, we should be able to refill in here. That said, I don't actually know if I picked the right one. I think I did. Yes. And... Okay. This room is kind of... Also, if you melt blue... If a keys flies through blue fire... Oh, sorry, I leaned into my microphone a bit too hard there. But if a regular keys flies through blue fire, it'll turn into an ice key. So that will actually make it an enemy that will freeze you, which is rather annoying to say the least. Also, don't forget there's a Skulltula. You're hiding there. There's a Skulltula right around here, which... Okay, there's still at least one more in this Ice Cavern. But... I'm trying to remember where there are golden Skulltulas in here. Because this is a really short dungeon. There's not very many places they hide things. I'm actually worried that I might have already missed one. As silly as that sounds. But here's the compass, so we can actually see where we're going. Get some more blue fire, because you just can't have enough in this place. Yeah, no, it's just... Yeah, that's the whole gimmick of this place, is fetching blue fire, using it on red ice, and lather, rinse, repeat. All that good fun. It's kind of... This This is one of those areas that's really nobody's favorite part of this game. Especially because of this room. This room is the giant ice block pushing puzzle. Also, I just remembered, yes, this is actually where... Yeah, this is where the other golden sculpture is. Okay. And yet more silver rupees as well, so... If you have fun with that in that other room, then you'll have fun in here. Except you probably won't, because this is even more ridiculously tedious and complicated. Yeah, this is really nobody's favorite part of this game, honestly, which is kind of sad, because aesthetically it's really nice. But as nice as aesthetics can be in terms of the dungeon design, which is one thing that I feel is, like, really underappreciated about Zelda dungeons in general, is just how interesting they make each dungeon feel like its own place. It's like, there really aren't too many dungeons in the Zelda series that are carbon copies, like, exactly of another, even if they have a similar type of structure or even the same name. Like, there's different forest temples in different games. But it's like the Forest Temple from Ocarina of Time and the Forest Temple from Twilight Princess don't feel at all like the same dungeon. And I think that's kind of an unsung strength of the series, is that each... It's like, even when they have a similar concept or a similar gimmick, the dungeons tend to feel pretty unique. But... yeah, I don't know. The whole gimmick of this particular room is you have to push that around, grab your silver rupees. You also need a blue fire a couple times in here. And there's those red rupees up there. If you end up with the block somewhere where you can't get it to where you need it, if you push it into a hole, it will respawn where it first appears. But I'm gonna see if I can... no, it's not quite gonna work. Because yeah, if I push it to the side there, it's gonna go in that hole. But can I make this jump? I feel like I should be able to make this. It's like... The problem is just that it's a little bit... It's just a little bit, odd of an angle. Yeah, honestly... Okay, one more try. No. Yeah, just push it. And it'll go into the pit in the corner and reappear here. Which, fortunately, what you can do... Okay. I really wish that there were better ways of differentiating between grabbing and climbing, especially in an ice area like this, where you constantly slide into the object even after you stop walking, so you can wait a second to make sure that you grab, and it'll still think you're trying to climb. Yeah. There are some things about the game's controls that are honestly far from perfect. But getting all the silver rupees opens that gate, and now we have to push the block into oblivion again and solve the block puzzle again to be able to get to where we need to go. Unfortunately, we also need more blue fire. And then once we have the blue fire, we'll have to go back and get more blue fire. Because we actually need blue fire again after we leave, after we finish this dungeon, after we... Yeah, it's... Or, you know what? I am going to just empty my second fairy bottle. and get 2 things of blue fire here so that I can just have what I need. Because honestly, just coming back here and solving this puzzle again just does not seem necessary to me at all. Yeah, this is the one place I was talking about where you really need to have multiple things of blue fire. But fortunately, solving the block puzzle is pretty easy. These sliding block puzzles are not all that challenging if you work backwards, and even then, there's only so many ways you can go from each spot, so it's not that bad. It's just time-consuming and tedious, and nobody wants to do it. Now, the reason why you need more blue fire in this room... Kill the freezer. And there's another freezer. Yeah, there are barriers in the way of getting to the end of this hallway. Fortunately, you can melt them all down with 1 blue fire and just kind of... Yeah. This room is just really... Everyone loves how this room looks, even if they don't love how it is underused. Also, that Wolfos is just kind of pathetic of a boss fight if you know that a single jump attack to the tail will kill it. But, yeah. Just look at this. It's actually kind of disorienting. It feels like I'm kind of adrift in space a bit. But, open this chest, and we find the iron boots. So heavy you can't run, so heavy you can't float. Which... Oh, and Sheik. We meet again, Link. If you came here to meet the Zoras, you wasted your time. This is all there is. With one exception, the Zoras are now sealed under this thick ice sheet. Or rather, 2 exceptions. I managed to rescue the Zora princess from under the ice, but she left to head for the water temple. This ice is created by an evil curse. The monster in the water temple is the source of the curse. Unless you shut off the source, this ice will never melt. If you have courage enough to confront the danger and save the Zoras, I will teach you the melody that leads to the temple. Time passes, people move. Like a river's flow, it never ends. A childish mind will turn to noble ambition. Young love will become a deep affection. The clear water surface reflects growth. Now listen to the serenade of water to reflect upon yourself. This is another favorite song from this game. It's oddly simple at only 5 notes, but it's really nice. And the cinematography of this scene doesn't hurt at all. Just, wow. This room may be used briefly, but it's used well. Link, I'll see you again. And with that, we now have the iron boots, we have the serenade of water, and we have a goal. To enter the water temple and purge it of the evil curse. The iron boots will make you will not make you breathe underwater, so if you are stuck underwater for too long, you will actually start to drown, so be careful about using those. But yeah, with that we're done in the Ice Cavern, and we have a couple more things we can do out in Zora's domain before we make our progress to the water temple. First of which, right after we get our iron boots, we could use them. And now again, you can't breathe underwater, so this is a bit of a tricky thing to do. You want to sink all the way to the bottom of Zora's fountain, and down here in the middle, you have a piece of heart, just kind of sitting there on the bottom. There's a bunch of rupees, but you have really no need of getting them, especially if you've been... Especially after the Ice Cavern, considering all of the silver rupee puzzles, because I'm pretty sure each of those silver rupees gives you, like... I think a silver rupee counts as a blue rupee in terms of money. So you get 5 rupees per every one of those. And again, you haven't really had any reason to be spending money either, so... Yeah, you just have a lot of money in this game. But no. The other thing, King Zora here is encased in red ice. Why don't we thaw him out and free the second exception of the Zoras trapped under the ice sheet? The first being, obviously, Princess Ruto, as Sheik already mentioned. Now, if we thaw out King Zora, and then talk to him... Oh, I've come back to life! Was it you who saved me? Don't be nervous. It looks like you have a hard time breathing underwater. I wonder. As an expression of my gratitude, I grant you this tunic. With this, you won't choke underwater. And just in time, to match our iron boots, we have the Zora tunic. So now we can breathe underwater just by changing our clothes. Yeah, I don't get it. I think it's meant to be magic, but it certainly looks nice. Dang. Link cleans up pretty nicely. I mean, not that he was ever looking particularly scruffy or dirty. I mean, it's literally just wearing a different color set of clothes, so I'm not sure where that phrasing was coming from. One thing I wanted to get real fast before I passed it up again is out here in Zora's River, if I can get... Okay, I missed nighttime, but I could just play the Sun Song. I hate playing the Ocarina with the C-Stick, but if any song that you have to play the top C on the GameCube, you have to do that. And I think if you stand up on this fence, you can just barely reach up to get this golden Skulltula. That was close. I thought I wasn't going to be able to reach that from here. But with that, now we have to go to Lake Hylia. So why don't we play our new Serenade of Water, which fortunately doesn't need a C-Stick to play it. It's very nice. Up to Lake Hylia. And this should take us to a familiar spot, actually. Yes, this island here with the tree is our spot to be warped to from playing the Serenade of Water. And it is also where we can encounter the entrance to the Water Temple. Next time on the Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we'll head into the Water Temple. What is a lot of people's least favorite dungeon from the game. Respond, vibrate, feedback, resonate in the comments below. Tell me how you think I did. And I'll see you next time. May the good elephant guide your way. No, Navi is not the good elephant. And she's also not very observant because I just did that a few minutes ago.